Here's a bit of news you might not have heard if you've been living under a rock. Next year, we're getting the PS5 and the next Xbox, whatever it's going to be called. And with those consoles rapidly approaching, many people would argue that nobody should be buying a current Xbox or even a PlayStation 4. I'm not entirely sure I agree though, and one of the reasons for that, specifically with the Xbox, is backwards compatibility. The current Xbox plays quite a few original Xbox games and a large number of Xbox 360 games. So we can already play those. And moving forward, when Scarlet launches, most, if not all, of the current Xbox games are going to run on Scarlet. So if you've already got an Xbox, then you'll be able to carry those games across to the next Xbox. The argument there is that you can buy into an Xbox now, and then if you want to get rid of that Xbox when the Scarlet comes along next year, you can, and you'll still have your library. Xbox have made it very easy for us. The other thing is that currently the Xbox One X is the fastest console on the market. And I know some people might want to argue with that, but you can't argue with the evidence. The truth is that if you are only going to be buying multi-platform games, the Xbox One X is the place to play them. And games like Red Dead Redemption, the first one, not the second one, look much better on the Xbox One X than on any other console, past or present. And again, moving forward, it's probably going to look even better when Scarlet comes along. And that brings me to games. People say that the Xbox doesn't have games, but again, that's not entirely true. What people really mean is that the Xbox doesn't have exclusives. And no, in the sense that the PlayStation 4 has exclusives, it doesn't, because the quality of the PlayStation 4 exclusives are of another league, I would suggest. There are some exceptions, and I think there are some good games that have come out of Microsoft, but they are few and far between. They have started to improve somewhat, and Gears 5 may be suggesting what we might see in the future, as well as the Outer Worlds, which obviously isn't an exclusive, but Microsoft do own the studio now, so maybe we'll be seeing exclusives moving forward. Maybe the Outer Worlds 2 will be an Xbox exclusive, who knows? The fact is that next gen, we may well be seeing a large uptick in the exclusives coming from Xbox. Now, that's speculation on my part, but it's kind of like a calculated guess, if you like, based on what we've been seeing from them with the studio acquisitions. And so buying into an Xbox now is not such a stretch because, as I keep saying, you can take any games you purchase now with you. And if I'm being honest, the game library isn't exactly small. I've got more Xbox games than I know what to do with, honestly. I've got a large collection of physical games, and I've got an even bigger collection of digital games. And I do tend to play my Xbox more than I play my PlayStation. And some of that with me is historical because I'm more of an Xbox player than a PlayStation player. And I tend to keep my PlayStation for the PlayStation exclusives, which, as I've already said, are better. But we'll get to that when I talk about the PlayStation. And I'm going to talk about the PlayStation in another video. And, I know not everyone is going to prefer the Xbox over the PlayStation, and there are pros and cons for both, but the Xbox just feels more comfortable to me, personally. The next thing that really makes Xbox stand out for me is Game Pass. And with the announcements about xCloud recently as well, with xCloud coming to Game Pass, we're going to have a ready-made library day one, whether we buy an Xbox now or in the future. Game Pass, for me, is currently one of the best gaming deals. It really is. You go and you buy Game Pass, and you've got, 100 games, or it's more than 100 games, actually, if you actually go through and you count them. And many of those games are very good games. The library in Game Pass is really good. So, if you went out today and you bought an Xbox and you got Game Pass, you'd have 100 games and you could just play them. And then with that, we've got cross-play and cloud saves. And I've already made a video talking about cloud saves and how that can remove the stress of playing a game. You can sit down, you play a game, you log on anywhere you like, and you can play that game. And when you put that together with crossplay, and if you look at the Microsoft first-party games, they work really well like this. You buy a game, you get it on the Xbox, you get it on the PC, and if you play it on the PC and then go to your Xbox, the save will automatically download to your Xbox and you can carry on playing. And this is going to happen with xCloud as well. We've got Game Pass, xCloud, crossplay, all these things are coming together. Microsoft have put all their ducks in a row, if you like, and they're ready for the next gen. But a lot of that stuff is already on stream now. And so if you buy an Xbox now, it's available to you. The other thing for me, and this is a small one, I would say that the Xbox has the best controllers. And I know not everybody agrees with me, but I actually do prefer the Xbox controller over the PlayStation controller. It's marginal. I still like the PlayStation controller, but I do prefer the offset thumbsticks. And the Elite and the Elite 2 are amazing controllers. I know some people had some issues with them, but they are probably the best competition controllers out there. But the actual standard controller almost makes it pointless buying the Elites because it's such a good controller in its own right. And the other great thing, and I have to say this, and this relates to buying an Xbox now, is that all current Xbox controllers are going to work with Scarlett when it launches next year. So you could buy yourself an Xbox, you could get yourself 2 more controllers or 3 more controllers, and then next year when Scarlett launches, you can pick up and play. You buy Scarlett and you've got your controllers ready to go. You just pair them with Scarlett and you've got a whole load of peripherals ready for you. And I do have to say that I like the idea of having AA batteries in the controller, because what I do is I buy rechargeable batteries and I put them to charge and then I play my games, and if my controller runs out of battery, I just swap out the batteries. It's that quick. There's no plugging it in and charging while you're playing, so you haven't got leads trailing across the room. And I know the most recent Elite controller, the Elite version 2, has kind of bucked that trend and gone for a rechargeable battery. But I kind of hope that they don't do that with the next Xbox and that we do have a battery compartment in the controllers that release with it. I don't think they will. But what that means is if you're buying an Xbox now and you've got those controllers and you prefer batteries, you can carry those forward, as I say, and use those, and you can keep your rechargeable batteries. So that's kind of what I'll be doing. So yeah, I think it's a small advantage, but I do think it's another thing that would make me think, well, maybe I can buy an Xbox now and I'll have some items, some peripherals that I'll be able to carry forward that may not be what you get with the new Xbox. So they may actually, in some respects, be better than the next Xbox controller. I don't know if that's going to be the case. The next Xbox controller might be amazing. But for now, I'm very happy with the current Xbox controllers. And I think that buying into them now, knowing that you can use them with the next Xbox, is a definite plus point. And there's one other thing that I have to mention here with the Xbox. And this is going to be the case moving forward. So you could wait and buy an Xbox next year. But the reality is that the Xbox is the best system if you're disabled. So, with the accessibility controller and certainly the way Microsoft's attitude is towards disabled gamers, it would seem to me that if you were going to buy a console and you're disabled, the Xbox is the way to go. It would certainly be the one I'd be looking at. So, it's a small thing, but, if you're disabled or you've maybe got a disabled kid and you want to give them something to do in their spare time, the Xbox might be the way to go. And again, all the things I've just said about it carrying on to next year, if you're a bit strapped for cash, the idea that those games are going to move with you as you go and your peripherals are going to move with you as you go, not a bad thing. So that's another plus point for me as to why you should buy an Xbox. But of course, with that out the way, we then have to ask, which Xbox should you buy? There are currently 3 SKUs of the Xbox. You've got the Xbox One S All Digital Edition. And looking around, that's currently going for around about £199. And that doesn't have a disk drive. The next one is the Xbox One S, the standard Xbox One S. And I saw a deal today, just before I recorded this, where you can get the Xbox One S for £249.99 with 2 controllers. But there's also a deal for £219 with Tekken 7 and Project Cars 2 and 3 months gold. Now, that would look like the best deal on that one for me. But the best deal of all, currently, is the Xbox One X, and its RRP is £449. But you can currently pick it up for $299. And you can actually get that for $299 with, you can get the Gears 5 edition, the special edition, and all the other special editions are going for $299 as well. And you can get it with Metro Exodus. And, there's all sorts of deals floating around out there. So the best deal of the lot currently, even though it's the most expensive one, is the Xbox One X. And that, I don't know, we're looking at the prices. That puts the Xbox One S between £20 and £50 more than the all-digital edition, and the X at £50 more than the S. I wouldn't bother with the all-digital edition personally at the current prices. You can pick up physical games really cheaply, and so if you buy the all-digital edition, you're kind of cutting yourself out of that market. So if a game's a lot cheaper physically than it is digitally, you're not going to be able to buy the physical copy. And I know there's pros and cons about physical and digital, and that's why sometimes I buy physical and sometimes I buy digital. But I wouldn't want to cut that option out. And personally, I'd go for the Xbox One X at its current price of $299. Especially if you've got a 4K television. But if you can't afford that, well, look around for an Xbox One S. But don't get the SAD. And do get Game Pass. As I said before, Game Pass is one of the best deals out there in gaming at the moment. You can currently pick up Game Pass Ultimate for $49.99 for a year. And it gives you access to around 100 games, both on the Xbox and the PC. And, so that, it's a whole collection. Day one, you buy an Xbox. I know I keep saying this, but you buy an Xbox, you get Game Pass. You've got a whole collection of games. And, $49.99, that's less than the price of a lot of actual games. So for $49.99, the price of a game, you've got access to a massive library. And, that's far less than one of the Ubisoft Special Extra Gold Founders Season Pass Collector's Edition, which you'll need a second mortgage for. So, as I keep saying, Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate especially is a great deal at the moment. Or, you could take Xbox up on their current deal and get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for £1 for the first 3 months. £1 for 3 months. And if you decide you don't like it after 3 months, you can just stop using it and you don't have to pay any more money. And for me, that's a real no-brainer. And look, I know I'm being kind of evangelical about the Xbox here, but that's kind of the point of this. I'm kind of trying to go through and look at the plus points of the Xbox, and I'm hoping to do the same for the PlayStation and the Switch as well. But for now, we're talking about the Xbox. There are some downsides, though. As I've said, new consoles are coming next year, and that's going to come round really quickly. But, if you've got a kid and you haven't currently got a console, a year's a long time for a kid. Other consoles could be more appealing, though. The fact is that there are a lack of exclusives on the Xbox, and that might put you off. And most of the multi-platform games can also be played on the PlayStation 4. It's not the case with the Switch. The Switch is a different beast, kind of, if you like. But with the PlayStation 4, all those multi-platform games that are available on the Xbox are also on the PlayStation 4. So if you like the PlayStation 4 exclusives, then the PlayStation 4 could be the better option for you. But, it's swings and roundabouts, isn't it? I don't know, where are we with this? What I would say is, yeah, it is worth buying an Xbox today, especially if you can get a decent deal, because we know that most of, if not all, of the games that you currently own are going to go and move with you if you go and buy a Scarlet or whatever they're going to call it when it comes out. So yeah, there are some great deals out there. Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate really sweeten the deal. And so, yeah, if you're in the market for a game console, if you are looking maybe to get your kid a console or something like that, I would say that the Xbox is definitely worth looking at. But of course, you might completely disagree with me, and as ever, let me know in the comments. Tell me why you think it's not worth buying the Xbox. Tell me why you think it might be worth buying the Xbox. You might have some different ideas to me. And as I say, let me know in the comments and we can hash it out as usual. But in the meantime, I'm going to go and grab myself a cup of tea and think about what I'm going to say about the PlayStation. I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye.